Well, hello, everybody. Welcome to the PHDJ podcast. My name is Mike.
And this is Joe Bunn.
What's going on, Joe? How are you?
Good morning, sir. How are you?
Good morning. Good morning. I'm great. Got a lot to talk about this morning.
You're run ready over there, I see.
I am. I'm actually, you wanted to record a little early, so I hopped on. I haven't gone out yet. I got, as soon as this is over, I'll lace them up and head out. For a nice chilly 4-miler.
I hear you, bro.
Yeah. So Grammys were Sunday night. Did you watch? Did you tune in? Whole thing?
Of course. Yeah. Then they had me on the news again on Monday for like.
Oh, you did? Good.
Yeah.
I didn't know if you got on that.
I did. It was like I think it was probably 5 years in a row I've been on there now.
Joe talks extensively about this, by the way, at our workshop. Little plug for the workshop, and how he has kind of parlayed his local celebrity, if you will, to get onto the news. I think that's a great thing. And you do that 5 years in a row now. Post Grammys, you're on to kind of talk about the show. So
quick.
Listen, it's 2 minutes on the news is a long segment. Marcello will tell you. I mean, he's done. Our friend Marcello has done a speaking tour for the last year and a half or however long it's been. He's gotten on tons of, and I've seen every single one of them. It's usually a 2-minute segment, 3-minute segment, maybe. I remember one where they had him back on for a second segment, and that was like earth shattering. So I mean, think about TV news. They don't want to bore you. They want a quick story. So what was the theme? You any surprises from Sunday night?
Man, I really didn't see Bruno sweeping those 3 major awards. I didn't.
Yeah,
see that
me
coming.
either.
I mean, if you go back to, I was going to say
my predictions were way off, so I didn't get any of them right. But as a party DJ, I enjoyed it. I like the fact that his sound and his songs were celebrated, because that's our stuff right there.
I can assure you, hip hop fans were up in arms over that. Jay-Z got blanked, and Kendrick didn't win any of the big three.
Listen, Kendrick he also got to open the show with a 3-song medley, so he didn't exactly get.
And I think he got 5 Grammys. I mean, I'm not saying he just got
right. But it's the big one.
Jay-Z got totally blanked.
Yeah, it's like when a movie wins like 3 of the technical awards, but it doesn't win Best Picture.
Right.
You leave the Oscars going, well, we picked up 3 statues, but we didn't get the big one.
Right.
Yeah. So I understand that. But yeah, I mean, listen, like I said, I was surprised because those weren't my predictions, but I was happily surprised because I've certainly spun. The only thing that I felt got ignored was Despacito, like we've talked about, because that would have spent 15 weeks at #1. That's pretty
across the world,
me,
though. Like
to me, that makes the song of the year. But I thought it was great. So a couple of things. Did you want to fit something in here early, or?
No. We'll talk about it at the end if we have time.
So I've got 2 Facebook posts that I want to kind of comment and get your feedback on. One of them, I think you and I are going to agree on. I think we've even touched on them, and so those aren't always exciting. But the second one, I know for a fact we're going to disagree, because you actually kind of pissed me off with a post. So, but we'll get to that. So the first post, you and I both belong to like a shitload of DJ Facebook groups, so I can't even keep track. Apparently I'm a member of the DJ Video Cave. I don't even know what this is, and I might get kicked out after this podcast. But so somebody put up, David Farrell put up a video. Do real DJs have to mix? And it's that topic that we kind of go back to constantly about whether or not you should or have to mix. And if you watch David's video, it's a 2-minute video, and he basically says he doesn't mix. He does some transition. He says something about he does some light transitions to make some smooth, or light mixing to do smooth transitions, which means he understands the concept of beat mixing, that it should just, the whole concept of beat mixing is to make your transition smoother. That's really all you're trying to do. Now, you can get a lot more elaborate with scratching and other things and looping, but the main point of beat mixing is to make your transition smoother. So he gets that. But then he also claims in this video, and I say claims because I find this hard to believe, but okay, that people have actually thanked him for not cutting out of songs early. So let's talk about the whole mixing thing. Can you be a real DJ if you don't mix, and how critical is it? But B, do you have to, just because you beat mix, do you have to mix out of songs early? So let's take that first one. Do you have to be a DJ? Do you have to mix to be a DJ?
No.
Okay, so you can call yourself, you can hang a shingle on the wall and say I'm a DJ if you don't beat mix at all.
Sure. I mean, you can't call yourself a club DJ if you don't know how to mix.
Certainly not.
You can call yourself a mobile DJ.
Okay.
which is a multi-format, every genre from, you know, swing to current music, and be a DJ and not mix. And I've had guys, I don't know that I have anybody currently on staff, but I have had guys that weren't good mixers. They were good MCs, they were good people, and their customer service outshined the fact that they didn't know how to mix very well. But hold on, you're telling me out of that giant staff you had there that you could put all 20 of those DJs in a room and they could beat mix songs?
At least averagely.
Okay.
I'd say that my worst mixer on staff can beat mix okay.
Okay.
He's not great, but he can. And I'll tell you what, Joe, the last 4 or 5 years have changed that because the technology makes it. And I'm not even talking about the sync button.
Right, I know what you're
but the technology
just being able to see the waveforms.
Right.
Yeah.
So and I will agree with you. I think you can call yourself a DJ and you can certainly have a successful career. But whenever this topic comes up on social media, it really surprises me at how some people seem to be proud of the fact that they don't mix and almost brag about it and almost seem like mixing is a bad thing.
I've seen that a lot.
That I just don't get. I mean, admit the fact that it is a benefit. I think it would be a benefit to anybody's show. I've never seen this guy, David Farrell. I don't even think I'm connected with him on Facebook. And I'm sure he's a very successful person in the industry. But I guarantee if he spent the next 6 months trying to learn how to beat mix, his show would get better. So you could be the greatest MC and customer service and all that. But if you add this element to your show, you are going to be, and adding this element to your show doesn't take away any of those other attributes.
No, right.
You could still be a great programmer and great customer service and fantastic MC, but you've just added this other element to your show. Well, and like I said, he uses the word smoothly, so I know he understands the point of beat mixing. The whole point of beat mixing is to make the night smoother, transitions, people listening to music and everything else.
Yeah, and I don't think it, I mean, I don't know the guy, I don't know how old he is, but I don't think it's ever too late to start to learn. I mean, you know, again, I mean, I have a full set of gear right there. I have one sitting in my house. I mean, at no point is it too late to learn something new. You know what I mean? If you have a weekend off or you got these first 2 months of the year that are slow, you have all the music, you've got all the gear. Why not just practice?
I totally agree.
Get good by wedding season.
Yeah, I totally agree. And when you say get good, just get average enough to the point where you can make some simple transitions, record yourself, go back and listen, compare to some other people out there in the industry, and start focusing on it. And I guarantee you'll get better. You know?
I mean, and I still feel like in most of our cities and you've got friendly competitors. I mean, if somebody called me up and was like, hey, man, can you show me a few things? I'm not very good at this beat mixing thing. I'd give them an hour. You know, hey, you set up some gear at your office. I'll come over and show you a few things. And then the key, just like I told my son when he bought a guitar and swore he wanted to play guitar, you're not going to get good going 1 hour every Thursday. But you will get good if you sit down every night for an hour and play those chords that guy taught you.
Right. Right. And again, utilize the technology that's out there, you know.
It's just so much better. I mean, I know there's several guys that are still playing on turntables and stuff, but I mean, these controllers have made things a lot easier.
Yeah. It is now a visual thing as well as audio. I use those waveforms as much as I do hearing. It's drifting. I can tell it's drifting behind or it's drifting ahead, so I can adjust within the mix.
Especially if you don't have a wedge or some kind of monitor right in your face. I mean, it just is another helper. You know, it's gotten a lot easier.
I want to add this one caveat, and then if you're done with this, we'll move on to the next one. I see a lot of people when this topic comes up say, my clients don't ask for it or my clients don't need it. And I just caution people who think that, because clients don't always know what they want. And I don't even know if your average bride and groom, your average client, knows what beat mixing is, but they know the result of beat mixing. So if a client isn't saying to you, hey, you know, can I hear your SoundCloud page and hear your beat mixing skills, that doesn't mean that they don't care about the smoothness of the transitions at their event. It just means they don't know the terminology or the way to ask for it. So I see that argument often, and I just go, I don't think you guys are getting it.
Yeah, I mean, again, I think sometimes a lot of it has to depend on their background. You know, a lot of people that come here, I don't when they sit down, I feel like they're not my ideal client, but I still book them. You know, they're the kind of more intellectual couple that haven't been to a lot of bars and nightclubs. They don't even know to ask, do I beat mix or did I ever play in a bar? And then, you know, the other, let's say that's a third, and the other 2/3 come here and go, listen, you know, we met at a club, you know, we like Tiesto and the Chainsmokers, and we've been to Vegas and seen these guys play. You know, do you beat mix and do you play like that? And I go, you know, yeah, I'm 46 now, but, you know, from 18 to 35, I was playing in these bars and clubs. That's how I got really good. So, you know, I think that, you know, having that skill set is never something that's going to hurt you. And I've never had anybody tell me that I cut songs off too early. I don't know. I mean, I just feel like if it's a huge song, even if it's old, like, yeah, I don't think I ever cut, Usher old. I mean, short. And I don't even know how old that song is now. 10 plus years? Yeah.
Yeah, God, right? Probably.
Still bang it out to the end. So anyway, I just think that, you know, that today's attention span is very short, and I think you can sometimes, you know, play these things to the bridge and dump them and move on.
Right, but you can also, like you just said, play an entire song. Just because you beat mix doesn't mean you have to quick mix, and I think that's definitely a topic we talked about on this.
Especially the older stuff. I mean, I think that stuff is meant to be played to the end. I mean, a Love Shack or Shook Me All Night Long, or maybe to at least the guitar solo. You know what I mean?
Right. All right. So, like I said, I figured we would agree on that, but I thought it was worth
there was a
talking about.
Part of that, though, Mike. You said something about.
Well, the whole about mixing out early, you know,
right.
And you just kind of touched on it, because he says people have commented to him that they appreciate the fact that he doesn't cut out early, which I don't know. I'm not calling a guy a liar, but it's weird that people don't ask him to beat mix, but they do compliment him on not beat mixing. But still in all, those two things don't have to go hand in hand. The fact that you can beat mix does mean that you're able to mix out of a song a lot smoother and quicker than maybe a non-beat mixer, but you don't have to. You can beat mix every song at the very end of it if you really want. You can play all 4.5 minutes of a song and still beat out the last 32 beats. You still can do it if you want.
And don't have people on the dance floor with a blown out back from going from 120 to 80 or something.
Exactly. Right. You know, I've talked often about a wedding that I was a guest at many, many years ago. Kelly's friend. That was actually my first officiating wedding. And the DJ was a very good MC, especially for introductions. You could tell he had gone to the Mark Farrell, Peter Murray school of, you know, telling quick little stories about these couples. And so I was impressed. But then when it got to the party, man, his mixing was horrible. And you're right. He had no sense of going from 100 to 104 to 108. He was going from a 120 to a 102 to a 116. And I'm like, why? You know, and again, he had a laptop in front of him. So any of these software programs, all you have to do is click BPM and it will shuffle your songs in BPM order. Learn the basics. Even if you're not going to mix, learn the basics of climbing a ladder and at least trying to get songs that are close to each other BPM wise. But yeah, I don't want to overemphasize that. So let me talk about a topic that you put on Facebook, a post that you put up on Facebook that I need to call you out on. Okay.
I don't ever put anything inflammatory up on Facebook.
Well, you might not have thought this was inflammatory, but you have a beautiful picture of a bride and groom on the dance floor with you back there, and you're showing off your nice little DJ console, which is for sale at where can I get that?
VisionDJDesigns.com.
Very nice.
Custom fiberglass tables. See it live in Mobile Beat Las Vegas.
And here's what Joe writes. I'm okay with being in the background. I'm not the kind of DJ or MC that's on the mic all night screaming, "Look at me." I don't need to. I rock parties minus all the nonsense.
Yes. How does that piss you off? You don't scream me.
Listen, I do not, but I am certainly the type of DJ that gets out on the dance floor. As a matter of fact, I promote that fact. I think we are better and more effective as MCs if we break the fourth wall. Shameless promotion. This is what my topic is about at Mobile Beat in 6 weeks. So I will be showing video examples of this and everything else. And I just think you are drawing the line here between an interactive MC and a non-interactive MC. If I put up a post of me on the dance floor with a bride screaming and the two of us, and I wrote, I'm not the type of DJ who's lazy and hangs out in the background and doesn't care enough to get onto the dance floor and make I think you would go, whoa, wait a minute. Just because I'm not on the dance floor, doesn't mean I don't care. And I think the way your post is worded, it makes it seem like if you have a cordless microphone and you get on the dance floor. No, Joe, you're not, but you're going to have to answer to it right now. So tell me, do you, and I'm asking for truth serum here, Joe, do you think that any DJ who gets on a dance floor is crying for attention? No. Is only doing it for attention?
No, I think that's either, I hope that's what's been discussed previously with the person that hired him, or they saw him or her at another wedding. So in other words, I hope that if there's a guy on the dance floor and he's leading dances and he's, the second person there, so there's more of a person actually firing off the songs, and he's out on the dance floor leading sing-alongs, leading dances, that was previously discussed with his client.
Well, or at least promoted that way.
Or that's in their marketing, or they do showcases and they show that.
Right.
Whereas here it would be, I would get complaints because they would be befuddled. Like, that's not what you ever showed in your videos. None of your pictures have y'all out there. In fact, when people call and want that particular type of MC, I have to pass to some other guys. Now,
you don't have anybody on staff that can do that?
Out of 15 people, 0.
Okay. Wow.
And in fact, I sent a text from a show Saturday night to another guy that works here. He has a couple of DJs in his company. I was going to see if I could find it. But it said, it was small, man. I mean, even less people showed up than they thought. It was a corporate gig. It was out of town. Tiny ballroom, tiny dance floor. And 2 or 3 people came out to do the Cupid Shuffle, and they couldn't get it right. And I was like, and I texted him and I said, I've never wanted to be you more than right now. Because this guy's like, he teaches ballroom dancing. Right. He's out there on the floor. Like, when people want that interactive, they want the Mike Walter of North Carolina. I'm like, call this dude. So I texted him and I'm like,
I think the line dances are a good topic. If your bride wants the Cupid Shuffle at a wedding or the wobble, do you don't get out there at all?
No, I just make the assumption if you want it, you know it, get your ass out there and do it.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't need to teach it.
That is so far removed from my philosophy of emceeing. As a matter of fact, I'm in my basement right now. Just last night, I'm training three new MCs, and the three of us and myself. And it was funny because Kelly was home, so she was sitting on the couch right back here watching, and we walked through the electric slide because I still think they need to learn the basic.
I think you do
and
too.
The Cupid Shuffle. And next week we'll be working on the wobble and the cha-cha slide. Because
I feel like I should need to buy a plane ticket and just come for that part
and come up. Yeah, it surprises me that even and listen, I kind of get, if you're doing a sing-along, you'd rather do the prompt from back behind the. I get that. I disagree with it, but I get it. But even with a line dance, you won't break the fourth wall and grab the microphone and go lead it. And a lot of that has to do with the fact that can you do the electric slide?
I don't think I can.
I don't think I could do this podcast with you anymore. I think this needs to be our last week, Joe.
Yeah, maybe not. I don't think so.
Cupid Shuffle?
No. Yeah, maybe.
Wow.
Wobble, maybe.
And so how often percentage-wise do you get requests for these things at your events?
50-50.
Okay, so 50% of your weddings, you'll play a wobble or a Cupid Shuffle. Usually. Does it always go great, or are there times where the guests don't know what to do and they're kind of
I mean, out of all the gigs I did last year, let's say I did 40 weddings and another probably 30 or 40 just random parties. I think that's the only time, or actually it wasn't last year, it was last weekend. So out of all the shows I did over the past year, let's say, that's the only time I've thrown it out there.
And people haven't done it.
They did it, but they just did it really
they didn't know
poorly.
how.
And I could overhear the music. That's how small like the room and crowd was. They were like, I think the lady even said, maybe the DJ knows. And I went like this. Nope.
Wow.
And I let it ride, and I think I dumped it early because they were butchering it so badly. But,
so similar to what we said earlier about how this gentleman should just try to learn how to beat mix, because it would be one more thing added to his show. Do you not see the advantage of if you learn the Cupid Shuffle?
I did that night.
Or no, be honest with me. Or is it no, that's not cool. I don't want to be on the dance floor, because I know that there are some people in our industry that have this. I'm cool. I wouldn't lower myself or demean myself to get out there and do the wobble. I just won't do it. I mean, is that your philosophy?
No.
So then it surprises me, because believe me, Joe, I'm not a great dancer. So the fact that I can learn these dances and learn them well enough to teach them, I think it kind of shows that it's really not that hard.
I mean, for me, I think when I was a kid, when I was a kid, and the reason I think I got into DJing was, one, I love music, and my parents had a lot of music, but I also was at 12 or 13 when we started doing these teen dances. I was awkward, and I didn't want to dance, and I didn't like to dance, so I wanted to be the DJ. So that did give me the ability of getting attention without having to dance. As I got older and into high school and college, I actually like to dance. I'm an okay dancer. And I always tell my kids, like as they're getting older now, I'm like, you gotta be able to do just the basics, man. Like, get out there, because somebody will steal your girl if you're not.
Yeah, I was going to say, well, oppositely, I was going to say, my experience growing up, and maybe the times have changed, but if you could dance as a guy, you were 50% of the way there, because half of the guys in a club just are leaning against a wall, not dancing. So if you could just do some basic moves, and like I said, I haven't been in the club scene in long enough, and I certainly not when I'm, not to go pick up. So I don't know if the times have changed in that regard, but yeah, man, if I had a son, I would teach him some basic dance moves and remove his fear, because let's face it, everyone can dance. It's that psychological, like, oh, I've been told I can't dance, or people are looking at me or staring at me, and I don't want to. Once you get over that and you realize you're alone on the dance floor, just cut loose and have fun, it's you can do it. Everyone can. So
no, it's not a cool thing for me. It's just it's very rarely asked for or advertised.
No, you just said 50% of the time.
No.
You said 50% of your weddings you get.
I'm saying for us to be this interactive kind of host. And again,
but I'll use the same argument that I use with the clients don't ask me to beat mix, so I don't need to learn. Right. I don't think clients are going to say, hey, if we do the Cupid Shuffle, will you get out there and lead it? But I think some clients might be expecting that. And it happened to you last week, and I know you said that's rare, but last week you said, hey, maybe the DJ knows.
Listen,
that was a situation where if you could have jumped out and said, hey, I'll lead it, go this way.
Listen, there's no doubt. I'm not going to sit here and lie.
So by next week, I expect you
to know
I want you to
4 or 5.
And I want you to prove it. Next week, I'm going to put on the Cupid Shuffle. To the right, to the right, to the right. It says it in the fucking song, Joe. It's pretty easy to do.
I think you just cursed.
Was that our first F word?
No, that's your first. I haven't crossed that line. John Young's going to lose it. People in Minnesota have never heard that word.
Never.
Okay, I'll have to turn the monitor.
You can tell I get fired up about this topic. Yeah. Oh, and it's not nonsense either, Joe. In your post, you wrote, you're right.
But
also, rock parties minus all the nonsense.
Yeah, but
it's not nonsense.
But also, you're reading into that. Like, I don't even know that that's what I was particularly meaning.
Well, what did you particularly mean?
I was more talking about the over-the-top, like, radio DJ. Guys, that was the Cupid Shuffle by... Who's it by? Cupid.
Yeah. How do you forget that?
I don't know. Or, hey, guys, that was Chubby Checker with the twist. Like, the nonsense to me is over-talking, over-emceeing. Okay. So the things I do, of course, huge introduction, excitement. Ladies and gentlemen, Christy and her father are going to share this firsthand. The things that need to be said. But I'm not up there on the mic. Look at me, talk. Shut up and play, especially after dinner and the lights go down. Right. I might say nothing until the bouquet and garter and then the finale through that whole 2.5-hour dance set. I just, every once in a while I'll kill the mic, people sing along, things like that, or kill the, the track or whatever. But it's not a cool thing for me, man. And trust me, there was nobody that wished more that I could go help those two redneck ladies navigate than last weekend. You know what I mean?
You should have called me up. I would have done it on FaceTime. I would have helped them out on FaceTime.
Hey guys, I got to help her right here. This guy's awesome.
Exactly.
So I don't. Man, now I guess I don't even. I think I just was so like, she posted like 6 or 7 pictures, and they all were very similar. You could see me in the background, and it was all through. It was almost through the entire beginning of the wedding. Like, you could see them doing their first dance. I'm watching like her brother give a toast. Like, it was just, I was like, oh man, I get to really see. I guess I should have just left it at, I get to see some really cool moments from back here.
And listen, Joe, I'm breaking your balls.
I know you're breaking my balls, but I'm almost like,
I did feel like you were drawing the line between interactive MCs, and I'm going to call myself an interactive MC, but I don't think I do it for ego. Look at me. I do it more, if anything, for referrals, because I think if we stand out as MCs, we're going to get more referrals. And I certainly don't think any of it is nonsense. I think I add to, I take a party that, I mean, listen, I had one Saturday night that was a great party. Mm-hmm. If this group had an iPod hooked up to the speaker system, they would have had a great time.
Oh, wow.
So I don't in any way say, look at me, I crushed this party, because but I took that party from a 9.5 to a 10. Mm-hmm. Okay. And some of the ways I did that were some of my prompts, and again, I'm going to talk about this extensively at Mobile Beat. So if you're going to be there, attend my seminar. I'm going to show some video examples of this, but I think we can do that as MCs, and I disagree that it's nonsense, and I disagree that it's calling attention just to ourselves, just for attention's sake.
But do you agree that there are DJs in the world of mobile that they use this as their personal party platform?
Yes. Would you agree that there are DJs that hang back behind the table almost to the point where they're bored out of their mind and all they're doing is hitting play on the next song?
Yeah, I've had some.
So there are two extremes to both examples. Yeah. I don't lump you in with those extremes. I don't think you should lump every interactive MC in with the extreme example.
I don't think I knew that I did. That's okay. My point is, I'm editing the post after this phone call.
No, you can leave it up.
I'm leaving the post. I'm editing.
I was probably the only guy that got.
Oh no, it didn't get enough likes.
Some shade. That's all.
It didn't get enough likes, so there had to have been.
Well, it will after this. You're gonna get a lot of people to go to it.
Geez.
All right, I'm done with my stuff. You had something to talk about?
I'll just throw this in at the end. It really could be a whole episode, or it's maybe it is, maybe it didn't. Scenario. Somebody leaves another DJ company in your area. What part of New Jersey is it again? South New Jersey?
Central Jersey.
Okay, Central Jersey. So let's say within 45 minutes of your office. You know that company owner. The guy divulges in his interview, hey man, I just left XXX DJ company, want to come work for you. You interview him, you like him, you want to hire him. You like, or actually, not necessarily like the other competitive company that he came from, but you know the guy. Y'all go to Aliyah together. You've seen each other at NACE meetings, blah, blah, blah. Friendly competition, let's say. Respect. Do you call that guy and say, hey, why did Kevin leave you? Do you mind if I ask?
Yeah, this is a topic, I think, for an entire podcast because, I probably wouldn't even take that interview. I could go through the steps, but this is an entire half-hour conversation if you want to make it that way.
Let's table it.
So if you want to do a little teaser for next week or a future week,
we'll tease it.
Yeah, this is a really good topic, but I think it's not. Stick it at the end of a podcast topic.
All right. Well, that's the teaser for next week's episode. Remind me, Mike.
Tune in. We have our first cliffhanger. We've been doing over a year of podcasts. This is our first time. This is like a Who Shot JR kind of cliffhanger. I like it. I like it, Joe. Good week.
Awesome. Yeah, man. Absolutely.
Good week. Go edit that post.
I will. I'm going to edit the post. Super Bowl prediction real quick. And the score.
Patriots 20. Patriots 20. Eagles 14.
Okay.
17. I think they'll cover. I think the Eagles are covered. So
what's the spread?
I think it's 4.5 Patriots. So I think Eagles will cover. So let's make it 27. I think it'll be a low scoring 2017, and it will probably be much like most of the Patriots Super Bowls. down to the wire, last minute field goal that wins it, which is why I think it could go either way. But when the pressure's on, how could you pick against Brady?
The GOAT.
How can you pick against him?
You can't. Yeah. I'm not going to do it.
I think the Eagles defense will keep it close enough, but I think just similar to what Jacksonville did last week, I think the Eagles might even have a lead late, but I think somehow Brady will figure out a way to grab his, and what will this make? His sixth?
You saw what happened last year to the Falcons. I mean, they were literally up 30, I think.
Yeah, that was the first Super Bowl I was this close to just turning it off and saying there's got to be something else on. And then the Patriots got that one touchdown, and I was like, well, maybe I'll hang with this. And then, I was so close because I was sitting here by myself. Yeah. What about you? Who do you think?
Same, man. You know a lot more about football. It's hard to pull. It's not that I don't want to pull against the Patriots. It's just hard if we're actually throwing out predictions, especially if we were exchanging money. How can I pick against that? I mean, if they get there, they usually lock it up.
Exactly, unless they're facing the Giants.
I was about to say, unless it's the Giants. All right. Well, hey guys, listen. So PHDJ Workshop, Mobile Beat Las Vegas, now really coming up fast. Here we are, almost in. I guess this comes out the last day of the month? No, it comes out.
No, this will drop tomorrow, February 1st. So we're 6 weeks away, guys.
Yep, this is 6 weeks away. If you're coming,
crunch time.
Yeah, if you're coming, go to phdjworkshop.com and lock it up.
Yep, sounds good. Thanks, Joe. Good week.
Yeah, mate. Later, man.